Hello? Game? And he finally actually surrenders, rather than just going surrender, unsurrender. Good. Welby puts up a hand, looking at you from her knees. I yield, Fatebinder. This fight is not worth my life. You have won. Your breath is ragged and wet. Where did Raytomon go? He must be stopped. That's not your concern. I might not agree with what Raytomon is doing, but I will not have someone come in and take care of my problems for me. He will be stopped, but I will be the one to stop him. Not my concern. He's endangering an entire city. This is well beyond an internal dispute with the Brotherhood. Welby stares at you for a few moments before finally sagging, defeated. You are right. Raytomon has sealed himself in the old walls, and Myrek took the only other keystone. I can't open the doors for you. You need the keystone. She winces and touches her side. Her fingers come away red. And where is this Myrek? Where might I find him, eh? She sighs and shakes her head. And we gain wrath with the Brotherhood. Not that it matters. We're always going to gain bloody wrath with them. I'm sorry, Raytomon. I wanted to save you, even though I knew I couldn't. He looks up at you, pale and shaking. Myrek headed off toward Deserter's March. He was hoping to bring more of our brothers back. Here to regroup. She coughs. Flecks of blood spraying across the ground in front of her. Well, that can't be good. He slumps forward onto the ground, dead. Well, if you hadn't gone surrender, unsurrender so many times, then this wouldn't have been a problem, would it now? So now I will loot your corpse. We've gotten everything that we can out of this area. And have to go to that other one, which coincidentally is where this thief is hanging out. Grab whatever that is. And now I'm going to level up our other 3 party members. Barrett gets more health since he dies so damn often. Barrick will now be given let's see, what do I want to give him? Everyone gets a boost to these skills when he's in the party. Barrick gets that. Lantry. The usual for him. Gift of Moments is what he gets. And he can temporarily vanish from combat and heal and return and heal everybody else. Because I think that's a cool ability to have. Have a little bit more resolve. And I'm going to then give her a bonus to magic defense. I don't think she really needs it, though, to be perfectly honest, and it's mostly just so I can unlock the ability to get other special skills, but I can't if I don't have more points. And now we travel to Deserter's March, because we need to deal with the problem that we have right now. In that Ratoman, being an asshole, and even more of an amoral douchebag than most people in this universe, it seems, wants to unleash the Bane on Lithian's Crossing, and we don't like that, so we're going to address this matter through the, as I like to put it, liberal application of sharp, pointy sticks into vulnerable places on his body. Fatebinder Mythios, I don't remember if I've read this or not, but I will anyways. This is the sort of question that can get you killed. As we asked about how the Archons rose to power, if you remember. Very little is known about how they're born or come to power, and my long life has taught me that Kairos and the Archons prefer it that way. The young and talented remain forever in the dark. The old and mighty can rule without challenge. I heard of Ash. He will always be merely Ash to me, before Kairos renamed him and gave his legion that backhanded title. As a grimy, illiterate partisan who is winning battles while his countrymen of the Northern Kingdom lost left and right. Ash was always a good leader, but he wasn't born able to mystically reach out and protect his soldiers. The earliest mention of it isn't even until the tail end of the Northern Conquest, and if you read the journeys, they don't tell stories of grievous harm warded off by Ash's stern looks. Instead, they talk of his soldiers finding their fears and doubts lifted from them by Ash's presence. Careful reading suggests the ability to actively protect physical harm came years later, as that bond grew and, more importantly, as his legend grew. That legend part is the key detail. In my understanding, an Archon's power is something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The widespread perception of that power is the very thing that strengthens it. Though in Ash's case, he had some early inkling of a power, the ability to assuage the burdens of his men, and he took on a mantle of power and became known all around Taratus as the next Archon of War. It soon became the ability to bear the physical burdens of his men, not just their fears and doubts. Thus my advice to you is to act like an Archon. Take power where you can find it, foster fear, foster love. Never walk through life anonymously, but rather live in the thoughts of your followers and the anxieties of your enemies. Meiosis. And we will ask about Kairos' wrath next. Thank you for weighing in on all this. To ask perhaps too obvious a question, if I am such an anomaly, such a threat, why hasn't the Overlord dealt with me right away? An edict or a simple request to blatant mark would be no small threat. Neither seems to have happened just yet. What is your take on this? Why hasn't Kairos dealt with me? Tiberius. And we will see what she has to say about that. Now there's a keystone that needs retrieval and a couple of raiders over there, and there's some loot. Gino, I get rid of these off the screen. Gino's the guy from that side quest who we're asked to retrieve. A hunched, defeated man sees you approach and stands up quickly. His eyes wild with hunger, his skin peppered with sores and dirt collected from sleeping on the ground. He calls out to you with a weak and trembling voice. I know why you're here. His voice cracks as he begins to plead. You mustn't believe the lies they've told you. I've done nothing wrong. Well then, tell me your side of the story. I didn't do anything wrong. His eyes cast about as if he's trying to find something to save him. People are spreading lies about me and I can prove it. I'll tell you where the bodies are. Just let me go, please. Stop your babbling and just say what you're going to. In his terror, Gino's words rush together and you almost can't understand what he's saying. I saw them burying bodies. It was outside the old walls in Twin Rivers, in the undergrowth. I was there to see if I could get some fish from the river and saw them. The disfavored were burying bodies. They won't be dead for seeing the bodies. Bodies are made every day during the time of war, you imbecile. Why should these matter one whit to me? I don't know. They saw me watching them and chased me. I only just escaped with my life. I've been hiding because they'll kill me if they find me. What were you doing out there anyways? I'm a fisherman, so I come out here all the time. The best catch in the area is at the fork in the Twin Rivers. It's a little off the beaten path. It's also the place the disfavored stash bodies they don't want found. And what about these reports of people seeing you enter town? I have a family to feed. I forage in the wilderness and sneak into town to give them food. Nothing that people are saying about me is true. They're spreading rumors because they fear disfavored reprisals. Show me any sympathy. Take me to the bodies, then. No, I can't go anywhere, or they might find me. I'll mark the area on your map and you can dig them up. Go, find them, and you'll see I'm telling the truth. If you clear my name, I can finally return to my family. Where is it? Near old walls in the Twin Rivers, southwest of the river in a clump of overgrowth. Okay. Buried bodies in the Twin Rivers. See, the path ahead winds through a patch of twisted oaks. Dry foliage crunches underfoot, and the hymns of insects score the day and night alike. The mingled scents of wheat and algae soar the air. Barely audible over the crunching of tree litter, you hear a creaking sound, like tightening rope as the leaf-carpeted soil begins to shift around your feet. And we will leap for safety. Like a storm of whips, a half-dozen green tendrils erupt from the ground. They lash wildly at the air, and the two nearest manage to slap against your thighs and calves, biting through your exposed flesh with fang-like thorns. You pull your limbs free and roll away from the thrashing vines. And I will try and identify my attacker, see if we can't screw with them. You've heard of these plants, the spine hedera, a rare creeping ivy that spreads from a central flowering stalk. The spine hedera use their prehensile vines to trap prey, puncture their skin, and wring from them their blood. Enough damage to the central stalk will kill the plant and neutralize the threat of its vines. A slowly building heaviness in your limbs and blurriness to your vision reminds you that these plants also inject a powerful numbing agent into their victims. And I'll attack the stalk. Your assault on the heart of the plant earns you a few more welts from the slashing thorns. You manage to split it down its center. Vicious sap oozes from the twitching creature. The tangy copper scent lurks in the air. The spasming vines crash their last, then go limp. You collect some of the sap and shavings from the vines. Certain such things can be of use in an apothecary. With sensation slowly returning to your limbs, you continue towards your destination. And yes, we get a few alchemy supplies, and are on our way to Twin Rivers again. That was interesting. So, in between point A and point B, we got attacked by a plant. I have to say, I never would have expected that. Coming under attack by a plant. A plant. It's not exactly the kind of thing you expect, even in a game like Tyranny. Which is not exactly your medieval... It's not exactly what you'd call real life. A simulator or anything. Sorry, I was trying to think of a way to describe it there.
Can't do that.
Okay.
Well, if we aren't flirting with total disaster, we aren't doing it right.
Well, I somehow managed to miss a trap and get Ebb almost killed. A little bit of looty McLoot in order here, I think. Also a little bit of running.
Take that.
I do believe I said running. But I only want to be going up against basically 2 of them. So we'll try to do that. Heal Tiberius, if you will.
Not a problem.
Okay then. You do that.
Whatever you need.
Stand tall, Fatefinder.
Son of a bitch.
I will aid you.
God damn it, Tiberius.
Good as new.
God damn it.
Nobody saw that, right?
Okay, kill a lot of them, please.
I'm not built for this sort of violence.
I cannot.
I'll keep at it.
Are you afraid of death, worm?
Now, a little bit of that. Or not. Do it like this.
As you
Go.
wish.
There.
As you wish.
Stand tall, Fatefinder.
And Tiberius managed to go down again at the very last bloody second, too.
Right.
That should leave there being just one over there, pretty much. But it's one of those things.
More bodies.
Which may be a touch annoying to have to deal with. They're one of the super powerful ones. And need special attention. Can you heal Tiberius? I know he's probably gonna go down first, isn't he?
I'll take care of it. Take that.
Oh. Not going horribly. But...
Pull yourself together.
There we go. And Tiberius died again. Because of course he did. And he's now been wounded 4 times. Eric's only been wounded once. I'm somewhat curious as to why it is my protagonist seems to die more than anyone else. Is it because he's the protagonist, or in spite of it? I wonder. But in any case, we have some searching to do. And that's right. Whatever's in here, I never gave a look. We need the old wall's keystone for that, apparently. Now, what do I do?
Can't do that.
We'll climb up here for one thing and have a little look around. Abandoned tent, hello. Get your asses back down there now. I don't see anywhere we can actually search for these supposed buried bodies. So we'll come back to that another time. Now we're heading back to where we were at before to look for this fellow who has the keystone. Hello, Deserter's March.
I'm injured, tired. Let's rest.
And now Tiberius wants to rest. And the spires. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I've definitely read this one on camera before, so I'm not going to do it again. Or, was that in one of those recording sessions where something went wrong and I had to re-record? Oh well, I'll skim it. Allow me to address you as Archon Tiberius before it becomes fashionable to do so. I pride myself on being a woman who stays ahead of the trends. Why Kairos smites some but allows others to exist is a question we all ponder. The Overlord can appear arbitrary, and if I've learned anything, that's the point. Kairos is intentionally aloof and distant, both for matters of personal security, and because if you had to wrangle the most powerful entities of Tyranny, you'd need to keep them from getting too comfortable. To me, the most obvious answer is that Kairos knows exactly what you are doing. He probably approves of your actions and is likely working at every opportunity to create a situation wherein you are acting in your own self-interest while satisfying her ambitions as well. You have to consider one important detail. There's nowhere left in Tyranny to conquer now that the tiers are in the Overlord's grasp. What would the greatest generals even do in a time of peace? The voices of Narat is barely tolerable when you have need of a spy master. Why keep around such a monster when you no longer have need of such a gruesome weapon? I would argue it is in Kairos' interest that the tiers be a costly invasion that claims the lives of as many Archons as possible. Not enough meat on the tiers to keep too many sharks sated for long. Kairos ordered everyone to take Ascension Hall or die trying. The or die must have been an acceptable option, correct? If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say you have the unspoken backing of the Overlord. It's not like Blade and Mark can't find you whenever he wants. And since we have the option, I'm now going to inquire about Blade and Mark's killings. And just to remind people, for those who don't remember, since it has been a very long time since we met him, Blade and Mark is the Archon of Shadows. He's basically Kairos' personal assassin, gets rid of people who are causing problems. Dear Mythios, or Myothis even, your wisdom on the matter is greatly appreciated. You made mention of Blade and Mark and his killings. During my training, Fatebinder Khalil hinted that much of Blade and Mark's work involves killing off threats before they blossom into genuine problems, so I was curious to hear you second that fact. So let's say for the sake of argument that I am some Archon. Is it just a matter of time until Blade and Mark is sent to kill me? Should I be making grand displays of loyalty to the court to assuage his suspicions? The answer to that is probably no, that is stupid, but I still have to ask.
You see what I see?
Yes, if what you see is a trap. That's my reckon is Grunt over there. There's a bunch of disfavored bodies. And a crude map connecting Deserters March and other nearby areas. It is indicating patrols in fortified positions. The sheer number of them suggests that Kairos' forces are making aggressive attempts to control the region surrounding Lithian's crossing. But what does that mean? And nowhere our
See that?
Not so much a friend. And Myrek is hanging out. So I can go after him soon enough. For the moment, I'm just going to explore the map a little bit and uncover some of these areas. Let's see, Kalea. And it's been a little bit since I saved, so I'm going to, just in case things don't exactly go according to plan, and I die, which I may well do. And at some point I'm going to need to rest to deal with Tiberius' injury. But that time is not yet. Locke. Who is Locke? is another member of their band.